Welcome back to Super Sentai Review episode 233. We are here reviewing episodes 46 to 48 of Abaranger. And, well, we're beginning the Endgame arc with these episodes. Yes. Though, now 46 mostly put is this. Basically, advents of last episode. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this too when it comes to the episode where AbareKiller was basically inside the Giantoid. They have like several monsters, and well, Asuka took control of Killer O and did several mech combinations never seen before in the series with the auxiliary mechs and destroyed the monsters. I thought that was a really cool concept. Too bad, of course, basically, after this, they never did it again. And most of the time, they basically now merge with the Alpha Megazord. Basically. That's kind of what they're there for. Which is interesting. I mean, hey, at least they'll be utilized instead of just hanging out in Brachio's hangar. Yep, so basically we're getting to the beginning and the end of this thing. Now, also the course of the first couple episodes, basically, like, where they agree to team up with each other thanks to revelation that, well, the other half of, well, the main villain of the series is kept inside of, well, so apparently, in the case of episode 46, this is kind of, despite the fact it's the start of the five-part epilogue, five-part endgame of the series, it's more like a standalone episode that sets up it. Because we reveal one last Tridroid in the series, basically the very first one ever sent to Earth. Yes, and they wait until, like, the fifth last episode of the series to debut this guy. And they establish a retcon with him. Where, right after he arrived, he built a reputation as this fortune teller who basically his predictions is 100% true. And somehow, Mai and Emmy know about this guy. A character which we never seen before. And yet it's popular in Japan. This that was really weak. Because it seems like these episodes, like it's good for the most part. It just seems like some of the stuff they write for these episodes, it just seems like because they have that AbareKiller the good guy, it just felt as though basically they're just trying to wrap it up really quickly over the course of these few episodes. So, yeah, so when he reveals himself after, apparently his plan is to get this, offer people to make basically the Wicked God's true body. And they're riding on gondolas in the sky, including Mai and Emmy. Now, Abba Red is basically, I'll tell this a little bit later, the fact that his own daughter is basically kidnapped. So, after they defeat the Trioid, everybody's back to normal. No problem. And, of course, well, the end of the episode sees basically AbareKiller collapse after, well, he actually has something completely unusual. Well, for the first time since the movie, the first one they did, we actually have Top Gear, well, becoming part of the main Megazord. And having, for the first and probably only time you'll see it, in all these episodes, all 5 Abarangers sharing the same cockpit. Yep, believe it or not, this is the first and going to be only time, because what happens in episode 48, I'll get to that, don't worry about that. So, right after he collapses episode 48, he's taken down Curry, where basically said everyone, and of course Abaranger's like, "You're gonna live here now," and I'm like, "What?" And then of course we have, get this, we have Asuka and Ren, where they bring in his stuff from his house, and he asks the obvious question: "How did you get into my house?" Trying to give him the key. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that actually have no problem with that, because of course he would have a key. Like, my guess is he may not give him the key, but given the fact he's a freaking crocodile, I'm sure he probably found a way to create a key to this house. I should point out a very nice house, per se. Yes, It is a gorgeous house. And of course, Maya, of course, is thanking him for saving, well, her adoptive father's life. And of course, they play, well, he puts his coat on that he always wears. And pretty much every time he shows up again when he's in present day stuff, we see he's trying to make hip ping. He goes out, hangs out in a warehouse, participates in the fight in the episode, which, well, in case you're curious though, is there a trioid in episode number 47? Not really. It's mostly put just, they basically, in a way, with episode 47, it's like, yeah, this episode is where they start wrapping up plot threads with this one. So, 46, the last trioid. So it was already pre-made. So technically, in a way, the Giantoid who appeared in episode 40, I think it was like 40 something, I think it was. So, the trioids, basically, the one appears in I think it was in 45, I think it was. This is the one with the celebration. That was the last official one they ever made. They never made any more after this. Basically, the one that appears in 46 is one that was already pre-made anyways. Yeah, and the guy who plays him, he was previously Go Blue in Go 5. Oh yeah, he was also apparently in Comic on Amazon. I haven't seen Comic on Amazon, so I don't have basically. I do like the design of this monster. It's really cool. The one they made before, it's okay. It's nothing really noteworthy. It's basically a monkey. Yeah, and also the fact that 42 and 43 has the last special Giantoid of the entire series. Oh yes, definitely. So, and also in 47, AbareKiller and Valov, like, apparently, well, so basically the thing with this one is there's this prophecy. The five rangers come together to basically venture out the wicked god out of this girl's body. And Mahio, under the form of Genie, sends this message, and of course they end up battling her. We even have, I think the first time ever in the series, first of 2 times of these episodes, we have all 5 rangers combine all 5 of their weapons against him. And, well, they do kind of like beat this thing, and then of course they all basically transform for the first time in front of him, and they do the roll call, including AbareKiller in it, including all going to the Super Dino mode. And then eventually he's expunged from Rigo's body and turns back to Regia very briefly in this episode, and then becomes the true form of this character. A baby. Mahio's baby. They think it's actually Aaron's baby, but we'll get back to it later. So she's taken back to the Avalon's headquarters. And of course, Asuka is taking care of the baby, which for some reason is not pop up in 48. It pops up briefly in 48, but doesn't do anything. But nothing really important about this character. So, basically, Genie, the Wicked God leaves her body and then merges basically the two who created the Trioids and the Giantos throughout the entire series. They merge into a new being known as Desivorla. Yeah, who only appears for 2 episodes. Yeah. So, then the very next episode, it's like, okay, let's just go and kill the Abarangers. And of course, they all transform, they battle him, and they even use the combined weapon one more time. By the way, he's actually near the Tokyo Bay. You're thinking, why the heck he is near Tokyo Bay? Well, then all of a sudden he launches red snow over Tokyo to get the wicked human hearts. And to bring back a Megazord not seen since the summer movie. Believe it or not, they bring back Bakuryū. Which you're like, what? Yes, seriously. They bring back this damn thing. Which, by the way, it had been sitting out there since the previous summer. You're like, what? Yeah, that's kind of basically what I did here with this one. I'm actually quite surprised the fact they actually did this. They brought back this thing. Yeah, and of course, Norman takes, well, AbareKiller the cockpit because he stabs, AbareKiller takes it with him, and of course, he ends up destroying the other half. So, then eventually the Zord is completely destroyed. I'm like, okay, so you bring back something from the movie, and it's destroyed basically a turned episode. By the way, this is, I believe, one of 2 times they bring back a Megazord from one of the movies, and then it's gone by its return. Though in the case of, they only just one other time I can think. I don't know if it ever happened in Deca Ranger per se because I haven't watched it, or Imagine Ranger, but the only series I've seen is when they bring back a Megazord from a movie that was kind of defeated and then brought back or eventually is destroyed. Like, the last time the only time I've seen this happen was actually in Goanger, a series that aired several years after this. Yes, seriously. So, eventually, of course, apparently Zego's immortality is, well, this particular thing inside of him. Eventually, the thing is destroyed. He transforms one more time, and then, of course, the Megazord is destroyed. The body is, and then, of course, eventually the combined form is destroyed, thanks to the, well, combined robot. And, of course, he, of course, goes back to his headquarters, where he proceeds to merge with his own headquarters. And Jeannie, who was, like, or I should say, Mahio, who's turned back Mahio here, she's briefly held captive inside the headquarters, and then she's free to do whatever the heck she wants. So, as for AbareKiller, well, his immortality is gone, so he starts bleeding like crazy. And then Top Gear picks him up and takes him to space, where AbareKiller and Top Gear explode. Though he told Top Gear to, well, toss him into space and go right back. And Top Gear's like, nah, I'm with you to the end, man. Which, for the first and only time in this whole series, he refers to AbareKiller by his actual name. Because if you ever watch this whole series, from the moment he showed up episode 17, from like 18 per se, Top Gear, up until this very episode, what is Top Gear referred to AbareKiller as? Mahito? No. Human. He always refers to him as human. He refers to Asuka as the Silurian. He never refers to him by his actual name. And then they both die. Yep. Though they will kind of return despite the fact they died. I'll explain that when I get a chance to watch Deca Ranger. So, yeah, and that's kind of how they ended this thing. Like, yeah, the end of AbareKiller, a great character. I think the actor did a fantastic job playing him. It's just that, also from what I read, he actually only did the redemption because the producers asked him to do it. He was very reluctant to do this. From what he's described, what I read, it seemed like he enjoyed being a bad guy. And he probably had no choice when he had to become a good guy because his toys weren't selling very well. That's not his fault. And in case you're curious, though, did Downhill probably have toys over here? They probably did. Did I ever get one? No. The only series I got a toy from, I actually got 2 of them. Well, I got two of the Megazords, and I got the red Time Force Ranger from Time Force. Yep. Yeah, I basically when I got the original Megazord, I kept in the alpha because I like the sword aspect, and of course I also got Time Shadow. Yep, I got that one. But yeah, great episodes. And we're getting close to the very end here. The very next review, we'll discuss in the last 2 episodes of Abaranger, and I will be revealing what series am I doing next. And then right after that, I'm going to do Case Closed. And by the way, I do have time to cover this stuff because I have a day out tomorrow. Good on me. So, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit that dislike button. Next review for this one will be the last one to talk about Abaranger for a while. Well, basically, to talk about for the series per se. The only talk about Abaranger again is basically movies. Yep. But see you next video. Bye.